Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 386th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today we have Mr. James MacGregor. He launched a video marketing platform and grew it to over 4.4 million users in under 5 years. His tagline is, "Make better videos than your competitors on your lunch break." So you're in for a treat with him. If you missed the last episode, go check out Michael Greenberg. We talked about why you should be podcasting, and I agree. As I mentioned on that episode, my biggest regret about podcasting is not sticking with it in 2009. I had a partner back then, and it just didn't work. But I picked it back up, and I've been making this sales podcast nonstop since 2013. It's a great place to build a brand. It's a great place, great way to consolidate your thinking, clarify your thinking. It's a great way to get access to people you need to talk to, want to talk to. That can help you grow. That can help you grow personally, professionally, and grow your business. So I'm a big fan of podcasting. So go check out his episode. If you are stuck, if you are living, I don't know, not in a bubble, but things just aren't real, right? Because we're surrounded with social media and all these. I see a lot of stuff. I see under the hood of a lot of companies doing sales training, helping them with their CRMs, get up and running with HubSpot and Infusionsoft, etc. Things are rarely what they appear. So if that is slowing you down, if it's giving you reason to pause, to not move as quickly as you should in your direction for business, come hang out with me online and in our calls in the 30-day sales growth program. It is the most affordable way to pick my brain and to get actionable current tips on how to make more sales today in this crazy world. Okay, 30daysalesgrowth.com. Go give it a try. You get access to all the content immediately, and you can ask questions. And when I answer the questions, it's me. It's not a VA. It's not some licensee. It's me. So if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. Come hang out with the sane people, okay? And I'll help you grow your sales. I promise. So check it out, 30daysalesgrowth.com. Now, let's bring on our guest. James MacGregor, founder of Biteable, all the way from Australia. I got you on a layover in LA, man. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So, man, this is interesting. Make better videos than your competitors on your lunch break.
Yep. That's the pitch. Yep.
Finally, somebody that understands words. Oh my gosh. Now this bright orange, I'm not sure. You're going to have to kind of sell me on this because it's certainly noticeable. But
I can see from, obviously we're on a video call here, so I can see that you're looking at our homepage from the glow on your face.
The orange reflecting off my face.
Yeah. We kind of try and live what we promote, which was, we want our users to be seen, to be noticed. So you'll notice everything's sort of bright and
gotcha.
And fun.
Yeah. And so, I want to get into this because you're helping your customers make animated videos, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it regular videos as well, or do you recommend they stick with the animated?
So people use Biteable for short promotional videos.
Okay.
So sometimes they're animated. Sometimes they've got footage in them. They might have their own footage or stock footage. Sometimes they've got images. So we don't pick one style.
Okay.
It depends on the video and what it needs.
Right. So, I want to get into, how you founded this, all of the pros and cons and the scars.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about video first, because I love on your site you talk about it, on the notes I've got on you. People are scared of video, but video's blowing up.
Yeah.
Right. So our customers, our prospects want to see video, but as business owners, we're afraid to do video.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are we just perfectionists, or we think we need perfect lighting and a green screen and all this fancy production? Why are your customers typically afraid of video before they sign up?
The problem at the moment is videos still, it's fairly unknown. So a lot of it's new. Like video as a term is really broad.
Okay.
So, people are doing, half-hour case study interviews with their customers. They're also doing 5-second looping videos that they run as an ad on Facebook. So, what someone needs for those two types of videos is completely opposite. And there's
Right.
no products that will do all those videos for you.
Right.
And I think secondly, so yeah, it's just like understanding what video is and where it sits in their toolkit and how to tackle it. And then secondly, traditionally it's just been really expensive and it takes a long time. So, a video is a lot more complicated than taking a photo or designing a brochure, which is static.
Right.
So yeah, what we're seeing at the moment is, a wave of tools as the market blows up, tools like Biteable, where we're just trying to take something that used to, like literally a Biteable video used to take our animators like a month to make someone, and now they can do it in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's still a new thing to a lot of people, and we're finding like once people get comfortable with it, they'll start to use it more often. But yeah, it's really a point in time where everything is going video, but the skill set, understanding, and the tools are still catching up.
Right. I am a stickler on words. I love writing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there more leeway in video, right? Because if you put bad written words on a page, people are quickly turned off and they check out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, just to use numbers, right? Let's say you have to be an 80 out of 100, writer to keep someone on a page. Do you have to be only a 50 when it comes to video because it's moving, because it's changing a little faster, so it can keep someone engaged, even if the copywriting per se isn't as great?
No, I think unfortunately it's the same rule.
It is the same. Okay.
So we used to run an agency before Biteable, and we made explainer videos, mostly for startups back then. And so we would spend half the time on the script, and half of it, is just like, let's get the actual facts down, keep it really simple, and then put it in language that is going to resonate with the audience.
Right.
No, I don't think video has made that easier, unfortunately.
What about on the animated side? I haven't seen how this works, but I've seen animated videos. I guess, are they still talking over it? So there's kind of a talk track, and just using the animated characters just to capture the eye, but it's still basically the written word, in a spoken format, with some moving animation, just to keep the people with ADD, hopefully keep them engaged.
So for Biteable, most of the videos are under a minute.
Right.
We actually produce all the content in the platform. So we use film animators, we use copywriters to write all the copy, we use designers to make it look good. So part of, most of them don't have voiceover, some of them do. They're more like just a little ad, similar to like a little ad that you would see on TV or you might see on YouTube. And so they most of the time capture your attention really quick, explain the core concepts of what it is they're promoting, and then try and get you to take the next step. So I think what we have made it a lot easier for people to do is we have thousands of templates in there, which are videos that you can just go in and put your tagline at the end, put your logo, and we've got a structure for the template. It might not say the exact message that you're trying to promote, but it's a good starting point, and they're often pretty close.
Gotcha.
And we spend a long time on that, and we test them. So if someone is an accountant and they want to promote their services and get a phone call at the end, we'll try a whole bunch of different videos. And often, with the animated characters, they're kind of funny or humorous. So it's easier to get that same engagement that you can just with copy. It just has a bit more depth to it, a bit more happening than,
A funny, engaging CPA, dude. Are you like a miracle worker?
Yeah. you've got to check out some Bible videos. Like it's not always the obvious. Like you might just use an analogy, like stuck in a hole.
Right.
You show a little character that's fallen down a hole, and it's like,
Right.
hey, talk to us. We know
Right.
finance. We can get you out of that hole. And so,
Yeah.
it's really giving people the sorts of videos that like previously an ad agency would make for them.
Right.
But just making it so that it's like, it's kind of, a lot of it's pre-done. You just edit it and then you can publish it.
Right. Cool. Do you have an external mic? Because it's kind of coming in and out a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me try that. Is that any better?
It's still low.
Okay.
All right. So I think we got our audio figured out. We shall see. But tell me how you started this. You started in 2014, right? Is this your first startup, 37th startup? What's the history there?
I've done a bunch of startups. Probably my fourth. I don't know. We spend a lot of time testing a lot of things.
Right.
And so I don't know what actually counts as a startup anymore and what's just an experiment. But I started Bitable with my brother originally. He's a film animator. I've been helping software companies and startups I'm an engineer by trade, but I ended up helping them with marketing product, that side of it, for the last decade. And
So you're sitting around, you're an engineer, and you go, hey, I'm going to do video. I'm going to launch a business helping entrepreneurs make video. How does that go? Right? I mean, you're sitting around with your slide ruler, right? And your abacus and you're like calculating stuff, being all smart, and you go, let me start a business and go raise millions of dollars. And because what do you have? You have 4 million users right now?
Yeah, 4.4 million.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's a very short time. So what was that aha moment? Were you sitting at the pub? Were you on the golf course? Did a bolt of lightning hit you? Like, what happened?
So just before Bitable, I was marketing director at a startup incubator. And so our job was to launch new startups every 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I did that for a year. It was a lot of fun, but it was fairly brutal. And my biggest takeaway was all the ideas were terrible. All of the team was great and all the activity, investors would get excited. Like, yeah, there was something really fun about it, but fundamentally customers didn't need the ideas. And so after that,
how do you launch a company with a terrible idea?
You really poorly, I've found, because as the person who had to run the marketing, it was always a bolt-on at the end, and I always found that frustrating.
So were people paying and you're like, dude, this is terrible, but you gave me money, and so we're going to go ahead and launch in 6 weeks? Or would you try to fix them? Would you sometimes say no?
So we worked with them. So there would be a team. There'd be someone on product. I had a marketing team. There'd be engineers, designers, a whole team. And they just try and get as much done as they can in 6 weeks. And then there'd be a team, depending how well it went, would be running it. Often they got funding.
Every 6 weeks? I mean, did you get a piece of the action or, I mean...
No, so that was my job there. So the incubator did, but my job was just to...
Yeah, that's what I mean, the firm.
Yeah.
I mean, you launch a bunch of bad ideas. 6 weeks isn't very long. And if they are launching, I got to assume they either don't have money, or maybe they got some VC funding they can throw at you. But if you're telling me my idea is terrible, I don't want to pay you to launch a terrible idea. That whole thing kind of hurts my head.
So the part of the job there was to validate or invalidate people's assumptions around their startup. So usually there was a founder there. They were really bullish on the idea, but hadn't done a lot of the market research that you need to work out, is this going to work or is it not?
Right.
And so a lot of us was like technical issues, pricing, like how big is this market? Do people really need it? Who are the competitors? Like a whole bunch of things that we would try and just go hard at. And so after I left that, I pretty much did the same thing, but just with my brother. And instead of coming up with ideas, we just looked at the market, looked at trends. We would build things ourselves, launch them, let people play with them, ask them questions. And we just would basically go customer first and say, is this something you need? Like, should we build this?
Right.
And that was really fun. We built like all sorts of stuff. But the thing that people loved the most, which was like, if we weren't listening to customers, we wouldn't have learned any of this and started Biteable, was most of the time they went, that idea is really interesting, really innovative, don't need it right now, not prepared to pay for it. But the video you made for it looks great. Who made that? And pretty much every time, and I say, oh, we made it. They go, can you make us a video? And so we had a year of that before we started Biteable, where we realized we're doing it really well on videos to promote our ideas that nobody wants. Maybe we should do a startup that just does videos for people.
Nice.
And so it probably took us a year of, we rented an office. It was just the two of us, drank a lot of coffee and argued a lot. Yeah. And so we certainly didn't have like, that kind of one moment where we went, wouldn't this be great?
Right.
We just went, what about this? No, too hard. What about this? No. What about this? Someone's done that. Maybe we could do that. And, we'd explore something for a month and then come back to it. So, yeah.
So who was making the videos? Was your brother making the videos at the startup incubator?
We set up our own one, which was just for our own ideas.
Right. But where you were for 5 years, was someone else making the videos?
So that one, where I was a marketing director, they didn't make videos. So when we were launching our own ideas.
Gotcha. When you were launching. Okay.
Yeah. So that was like,
So you're launching your own ideas and they were terrible, but the videos were good.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically. I thought it was with the.
No. We always really, we were really into brand and design and, so we're like, it's really, there's something really working here.
Right.
But then we realized, people just like the actual marketing that we're doing for the startups that they hate.
Okay, so now the light bulb goes off. And this was your brother's sweet spot anyway, right? This is in his wheelhouse of doing video.
Totally.
So how do you make that shift? Like, what's the first thing you did once you go, all right, we're going to help people do videos? First
thing we did is brought on a co-founder. So another really experienced engineer, Tommy, the third co-founder. So we pitched the idea to him. Once we kind of had a working prototype, like we could show this type of videos and here's how it's going to work. We'd worked out, some of the feasibility stuff. And Tommy, took a look at it. That was over a beer and was like, yeah, maybe within a week he decided to join us. And then
And how does that work? Did you have, you didn't have any income coming in because it's just an idea. So does everybody just pitch in and get some sweat equity and earn their percentage?
So we all put $5,000 into the bank account when we set the company up. We put it in as a loan. We took that money out a year later. One thing I've learned with previous startups is you can personally go into a lot of debt. And, it's very common. I haven't in the past, but it's a very, very common thing that you got so much conviction. And so we just went, let's put some money in it so we can do stuff, but we're not going to, risk our houses. Two of the founders have got kids. We've got, normal pressures that everyone else out there has.
Well, but $5,000, that's okay. That'll buy a server and maybe an office, but you're not drawing salaries, right? So you're still putting your own sweat equity.
Yeah. So we brought on an angel investor once we had the first prototype up and running.
Okay.
And we raised.
And how long did that take?
That was probably 6 months of work.
Oh, wow.
And then we were all consulting. I think we started paying Tommy first, and then Simon. And then at some stage later in that year, then I started getting paid. That was maybe, nearly 12 months in.
Wow.
And so we were still just freelancing and consulting and doing whatever we had to do to pay the bills.
Right.
And then eventually we built the product. It was working. It was making some revenue, maybe like a couple of $1,000s a month, which basically...
How did you get those first customers?
So I've been helping companies, mainly startups, with marketing for a long time. So that was, sort of my area of expertise at one of them. And so we just did, in the early days, a lot of content marketing. So we would, most people used the product for free, we would build some virality into those free videos. So they would promote us, lots of blog posts, lots of content, just tried to, put content out there that would help people who wanted to make videos.
I hope they were videos.
They weren't all videos. It was a lot of copywriting, actually, in the early days.
Right.
There was a lot of blog posts, because particularly at that time, most marketing still wasn't video. We're kind of at a tipping point now. But yeah, it was a lot of traditional stuff that just we plugged away at for a long time.
Gotcha. So you're using words to sell video, right? But I mean, you had videos in that content, right?
Yeah. We made lots of
nothing
videos.
else to demonstrate it.
Yeah.
And so you start getting a couple of paying customers, and then was it additional funding that helped you take it over the top?
Yeah. So at the end of 2015, we got to about 10,000 users on the platform.
Wow.
Yeah, we raised in US dollars about 800,000 in investment, and we pretty much spent all of that on engineers and animators.
Right.
So at the time, we're just like, there's all this tech we want to build, all these features people are asking for, and because it's video, the content is kind of everything. And so we're just like, let's add the best possible content we can and build as many features as possible,
right,
and see where we get to. And
right.
So that got us through to beginning of last year, and we got to a couple of million users. We started to have a significant amount of revenue there, and then we raised another round of investment. So it was this little, like, when you're raising investment, anyone out there that's done it will definitely resonate with this, but you're always like, you're pitching this future.
Right.
But if you don't get to that next step, there is no future. And so
yeah, I think people often, they talk about the big, hairy, audacious goals. And it's like, I wrote a blog post a long time ago. It said, your big, hairy, audacious goals are killing you. But, I mean, it's great to have that, but it's like, okay, it's 3:36 p.m. What are you going to do between now and 4 p.m. to make a sale, to grow the company, to move along? And then at 4, what are you going to do from 4 to 5? They're like, we're going to redo video. I mean, good luck. Let me know how that works.
So I think having like the big vision gives you the direction that you're going in. So, if you're doing sales, if you say yes to everything, you're going to end up in a hole. So you need to know, like, is this the type of customer I want? Can we deliver on this? Is it, you're still going to get stretched out of your comfort zone, but if it's in the right direction, I think that's the most important thing.
Right.
But then it's really, for an early stage startup, it's like month to month.
Right.
You need to be improving every month.
Right.
Or it just won't exist.
Yeah. And is kind of how you work? Like when you come to goal setting and planning, are they quarterly goals? Are they weekly goals? Are they quarterly, we're going to hit this, how do you, because you can refine things too much and then you're lost in the weeds, or you can be too big of a vision and you're just lost just in general because it's so far out. It's easy to miss a goal and think you have time to make it up. So how do you refine that in your development?
So for us, it was really easy when it was a really small team because most of us worked in the same office. We just focused on monthly goals. And so we just sat down and went, what can we get done this month? This was probably up to almost 20 people. We had a second office by then, but it was really like this month, let's get these things done. Now we've got 35 people at Biteable. We're looking to more than double that over the next year. And so we've tried a whole bunch of things over the last quarter. Like, do you do 3-week sprints? Do you do 1-week things? Do you do quarterly goals? And what we've landed on at the moment, and I think time will tell is if it's a good approach, is we've actually split the company back into smaller teams like we used to run. And the teams, we set like, we want to tackle these things this quarter, and then the teams set their own cycle length and goals. So some teams they might be really focused on quick initiatives or quick wins. They might be knocking them out every week. And other people might be focusing on things that will take a month or months.
Right.
And so we're trying to get back to that fundamentals of like little teams that can just make decisions and get stuff done without asking permission, and having lots of them running in parallel.
Yep. Very cool.
Feels like a new frontier for me. Like I feel kind of, it's new. It's going to be really difficult, particularly once we double the team again. But I feel like that's something, if we can really make that work, regardless of what we build.
Right.
It's kind of close to home at the moment, that one.
Do you give advice or guidance on like how to leverage YouTube, or, should I put it on Vimeo and then use my own? Should I upload it natively, to Facebook or LinkedIn? How do you guide people on that?
We do a lot. So we've got about 10 people on the marketing team now that do that. So they do it through interviews, case studies, lots of blog content, Facebook Live videos, Instagram TV. There's no one answer. And so what our team focuses on is they try a lot of things and test a lot of things. They try and share the good and the bad with a focus on educating people. So if you're doing something like this is what worked for us.
Right.
But there's still, the usage for video is so broad. You can't really give one answer to someone, as I'm sure you found with if someone just said how anything sales, it's like, well, what are you selling? Who's the audience? How experienced are you? What's that? Like all this stuff. It's like, it depends.
Right. In your bio, you talk about the 15 must-have social media marketing tools. Can somebody use 15 tools? Or should they pick like 1 or 2 or 3? I mean, I guess unless you got a team, right, they could go divide and conquer. But is 15 too many?
I think for an individual, 15 is too many.
Right.
Definitely. I actually think if someone is managing social media for their business, maybe they're doing it for the first time or they're still fairly new to it, just do it all natively. So you just, log into those accounts and do it all there for a while. The tools help you when you've got a really big volume of stuff.
Right.
But you kind of learn the lessons by doing little tests.
Right.
And so I would start that way.
What about, so for our listeners, so natively, he's like, don't use like a Hootsuite, make one video and push it. Go to LinkedIn, do a LinkedIn live video, save it. Publish it, go to Facebook. Yes, it might be redundant. Yes, it takes you twice as long. But if you're sharing this, if you put it up on YouTube, people don't realize LinkedIn, Facebook, they're competitors to YouTube. They don't want you clicking away and going down a rabbit hole on YouTube. They want your eyeballs there. So, and obviously you got to figure out where your customers are, right? I'm not selling to 25-year-olds, so I don't do anything with Snapchat. I am selling B2B, so I'm spending a little more time on LinkedIn. But if somebody starts with content, let's say I start making videos and I'm terrible and I'm getting 2 views and my mom won't even watch, should I, like, 6 months go by, 3 months go by, should I go delete the old stuff, or maybe if it was good content, maybe try to bubble it back up or drive some paid ads to that? Do you get into that with the stuff that you do?
Yeah, so definitely our advice is to experiment as hands-on as you can. The benefit when you start out, you're trying to find what Facebook posts or LinkedIn posts might resonate with your audience. Being in there and seeing all the other posts and, actually not using a tool and seeing it in context is important.
Yeah.
Also, you see a lot of posts that are obviously made with a tool and the copy doesn't quite fit, or the URL goes over 2 lines, or just something is a little bit out with it. And so, like, handcrafting, thinking of the person who's going to read it is really important. I think, like, we focus as a company on transparency. So rather than trying to the question about should you delete old stuff, just put it out there. No, it's not going to be perfect. No one's probably going to care. If people go back and they look at our old marketing, yes, a lot of it, was fairly amateur and it's improved over time. But just, be willing to kind of say, well, this is where we're at.
Are people too transparent right now?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Do you need to hear about, like, how I stubbed my toe and
that's
how it reminds me of how, like, my dad one time dropped a tool on me and I was working in the garage and I felt like he was just really not focusing on me. I couldn't win over his love and affection, but then I just realized I was an annoying kid and he was working on his car and I needed to just shut up and pay attention. But now I'm going to therapy. I mean, that's what I feel like the freaking internet is right now. It's like, dude, we need a little more stoicism, in my opinion. But hey, I could be wrong.
I think I hear what you're saying. I think the issue there is the content they're sharing, is it relevant and useful? And those examples aren't useful. That's just sharing all of your garbage with people. I think it's just think of the audience, think of what they really need. Like, I had an example today. I met a VC here in LA and I was pitching and giving my whole backstory and, the long version of why we started Biteable and all the things we've done and our whole career. And I looked at him and I was like, this guy's not interested in the backstory. He actually wants to cut to the chase. Like, where are you at? Are you fundraising? But the last couple of meetings I've had, people have really wanted to hear the backstory. And I'm like, on paper, I should give people the whole backstory, but it's not relevant to this person. It's not useful. It's just blabber. So,
especially talking to numbers people, right? These VCs, they can cut through the crap in about 2.2, right?
Yeah. It's like, all of them have different approaches. And so you don't know until you're talking to someone. And so it's that thing of being adaptive.
Right.
Like the problem with the internet, and this has been the problem with internet marketing for a long time, there's so much information out there. Most of it's conflicting. It's really hard to decide what to do. And so people try and copy some playbook, and it's really, that's situational. Like, it might have worked for Airbnb or some other company. You're not that company. It might not work for you at all. It doesn't mean you can't try a small.
It worked for this virtual company with 500 employees and 12 million in revenue 4 years ago. But now there's 3 of you and your dog, and it's 2019, and you don't have the revenue, and you're selling a physical product. So maybe that strategy won't work. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. It depends on so many factors, like what you can actually execute. So that it just comes back to that testing, like, just try some stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like 52-year-old men that are 6 foot, 5'10", 245 pounds, but they want to emulate Tiger Woods' swing. It's like, dude, go look at John Daly. Well, don't even look at him. You can't swing like John Daly even. Just stop watching videos and go swing the damn club.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of VCs, you got a call coming up.
I do.
Where should we send people? What do you want them to do? Do you have a free trial? Do you have a download they can need to go study?
Yeah, so they should just head to Biteable.com. You can sign up for a free version of the product there, start creating videos for free. If you've got any questions, just either shoot an email to support@Biteable.com or to me personally at james@Biteable.com. Yeah, I'm still listening to feedback. I still love to hear the feedback. So yeah, give me some feedback if you do get on and have a play with it.
All right. I'm creating an account as we speak. I am multitasking. Tell my wife that I can indeed multitask. Because as I'm doing this video, I just created an account. Look at that. Video Marketing Plus. I'm in.
Perfect. I'm expecting some feedback tonight.
Damn. Come on now. That's so much pressure. All right. I'll get on it. Well, good luck on your interview or your meeting with the VCs and for everyone listening. So it is Biteable, right? Biteable, Biteable.com. Go check it out. You can start for free, and which means like it don't cost nothing, right? It's kind of the same concept.
That's right.
Very nice. All right, James MacGregor, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's been great.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Check out your news feed. Check out how you spend your time. You're watching Instagram stories, Facebook Lives. LinkedIn has it now. Twitter has longer and longer videos. This is where the market, it's not where it's going, it's where it is. Okay, and it's only going to accelerate and become more of what it is. So enhance your video presence, expand your video presence. You know, we talked about with Michael Greenberg on the last episode about podcasting. You know, when I do these interviews, I take the video, I do them on Zoom so we can see each other. I take the raw video and I'll use that to get more views. Sometimes people want to watch, you know, and I get it. It's a podcast. Me personally, you know, I'm typically just listening because I'm doing this while I'm at the gym, while I'm driving, while I'm on a plane. But some people do want video. But in general, for short snippets to get people's attention, you need to be doing more video, okay? That's why I had him on. That's why I like this episode. So go check it out. You know, we've got links in the show notes to his website. You need to be not only dipping your toe in the water, but your whole foot, your whole leg in it, okay, and get ready to jump in. So go check that out. If you need help, if you need advice, if you need encouragement on what tools to pick, how to get more out of them, how to just be braver, come hang out with us, 30daysalesgrowth.com. Come join the community. I'll help you. I'll help you sell mo better, and I guarantee it. All right? Thanks for listening. Make sure you go subscribe. After you subscribe and leave a 5-star review, then go sell something.